Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of andrewsfootball.com. Now, here's the thing. In my previous video, I told you to jump all over Atlanta in 4 points because the point spread's going to go up. Well, apparently people have been listening to me because the point spread is 6. You should listen to me. Here's the deal. If you're out in Vegas and you're wondering, hey, what should I do? You should have took it at 4 like I told you to do. You want to take it at 6? I don't know. 6 is a big number. For those of you new to gambling or don't know as much about point spreads, a 2-point jump in a week for an NFL point spread is enormous. The difference between 4 and 6 may not seem like that big of a deal to an amateur bettor, but it is a big deal. I strongly recommended to jump on it at 4. If you want to jump on it at 6, you can. But when I do my video next week, I'm going on at 4 like I told you to do. So, bet at your own peril. But one thing I did want to talk about, and that's kind of the whole point of this video, was when Dallas Cowboys played the Tennessee Titans last Monday night. I really think that was a big deal. The reason why it was such a big deal is because after a bye, after trading their first-round pick for Amani Cooper, they should have won that game. The Titans aren't a good team. And here's the bad news, is that their next 5 games are brutal. I got the schedule right here. On the road against, my computer's moving a little slower. On the road against Philly and Atlanta. And then they get 3 home games. But look who they're against. They're against Washington, the Saints, and Philadelphia. You got 2 wins max if you're a Cowboys fan. 2 wins max, which is going to put you at best 5-8. All right, so what does that mean if you're 5-8? Well, bad news for Jason Garrett. This is going to be his last season as Dallas Cowboys head coach. You had to win that game on Monday night. You just had to, because you're in a good position to go ahead and try to catch Washington or Philly. You're not going to do that now, being 3-5. If you look at his record since he took over as head coach, he actually took over in 2010, but starting in 2011 when he was the full-time head coach, he's only been in the playoffs twice. And in 2016, when he went 13-3, then lost in the playoffs, he went 9-7 the next year, which if you watch Andrews football, you know if a team wins a lot, they're going to lose a lot. But instead of rebounding, they got worse. So, unfortunately, if you've been a head coach for 8 years and you only make the playoffs twice and you make this big trade on a primetime game and you don't win, basically your time's up. And it's nothing against Jason Garrett. I don't know Jason Garrett. But one thing I do know is that the Cowboys have always made big changes, hired big names. And the biggest coaching name out there will be Nick Saban. Dan, Nick Saban's the coach of Alabama. Blah, blah. When Nick Saban wins his 7th national championship, it will be a record I guarantee you he is fully aware of. He is already the greatest college football coach of all time. He's already won that. But when he hits number 7, it's official. What else does he have left to accomplish except the NFL? He was a former head coach, coached the Dolphins. Nothing wrong with the Dolphins. Nothing wrong with the Miami Dolphins. All you Miami Dolphins fans watching, nothing wrong. They're not as iconic of a franchise as the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but the Dallas Cowboys are one of the most iconic franchises in the history of the NFL. And the opportunity to coach the Dallas Cowboys is going to be too great. Here's some reasons why Nick Saban and the Dallas Cowboys make a good match. Number 1, Jerry Jones, the 3 Super Bowls he won, 2 with Jimmy Johnson, 1 with Barry Switzer. Both those guys are great college football head coaches. Okay? Number 2, Nick Saban's done everything possible in the college level. Already established that. Already established Cowboys are an iconic franchise. But here's something you may not have thought about. That first-round pick that he was traded was for Amari Cooper. Where did he go to school at? Alabama. So it kind of makes sense. Here's a big key, though. And this might be the most important key, is that Nick Saban's a former linebackers coach, former defensive coordinator. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, LVE, and Jalen Smith. Those are prototypical 3-4 inside linebackers. Okay, they're probably going to run a lot more nickel, but those two linebackers are key to what Nick Saban wants to run. They want big, physical, fast linebackers. Those two guys are in. Sean Lee, one of my favorite football players, is out. Doesn't fit Nick Saban's scheme at all, unfortunately. Dak Prescott played in the SEC 4 years against Nick Saban. Ezekiel Elliott beat Nick Saban out of the national championship. Another thing is that the secondary, big, young, fast players. So, folks, Nick Saban is going to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach in 2019. You heard it here first. Oh, yeah. By the way, if you look down right there, there's a little button. Bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. And until next time.